spectrum of the living laboratory of consciousness. I call it laboratory because I think there should be things in surgical, not adding things anymore, but in a place of life is when we take things that no longer serving us. What I have come to the place of the understanding is do not look for a different experience. Look for what has been silently presented to you before every experience you have ever named. Because when you name the experience, whether it's a good or bad or right or wrong or love or hate, on the spectrum of polarities, you always have this comparison and you get lost in that comparison, but you don't get lost from your personality. You recreate your personality on the spectrum of the opposition. But that is not what I want you to experience. Perhaps the deepest habit of the human mind is not thinking itself into suffering, but searching for another experience to replace the one that is already here. We have constantly been conditioned to believe that freedom will arrive with the next insight, or the finance will arrive with the next job, or health will arrive from the next medication, or from the next retreat, or from the next healing. And the urge for the next is addiction, because that means you're totally refusing the present as it is. And that is why we call it the living laboratory of consciousness. Is you have to have a very close look, but not yet creating the space of the story again and again. Because otherwise this will go to your next relationship, the next achievement, the next spiritual breakthrough. The search itself quietly becomes the identity. Can you see that? That search for it slowly becomes quietly again another identity. But this identity is better because it is accepted by the society. It's very environmentally friendly. It's politically correct. This. So allow that movement to rest. Do not reach for another state. Do not attempt to become quieter. Now take a deep breath in, and I'll move the camera towards Taran. So we are not looking for a different experience. We are looking for what has been silently present before every experience you have ever named. Now, shoulders roll back and the space of the elongation into the space of what you call spine, but energetically. Simply notice that awareness is already here before the next thought appears. Now take a deep breath out and twist the spine very gently onto the right side. Shoulders relax, chest open. Shoulders are observing the space of energy, and just give them that space and the permission. That awareness is already here before the next thought, emotion. Now take a deep breath in and change the formation of the legs. And very gently moving on to the left side on the out breath. Now notice that breathing is not waiting for your permission. Even you can activate into a certain level. Notice that hearing is already happening. Notice the body is already receiving the world before your language begins. Because where did you stop the life? When your language has begun to tell the story about the world. back into the center. Now take a deep breath in and arms raise onto the crown. Now ground the hips, ground the knees, not as personal to you. Interlacing the fingers and stretch the arms right onto the top to the ceiling. But with that elongation, there's a grounding of the hips like it has become the feet. Now stretch the body towards the right by holding onto the left wrist. So you're not collapsing the rib cage. Back into the center, holding onto the right wrist and stretching towards the left. The nervous system has learned to predict now. Back into the center, breath out, spread the wings and collapse to a seated cat. Breathing in, arms raise onto the crown, elongate the spine. Breath out, spread the wings wider, seated cat. One more breath in, up, elongate, push the hips and the belly into the front because you want to roll the hips. Breath out, collapse the spine. See where the weight is carried on the nervous system because it's predicting, it's searching the present through the memory of yesterday. This is not a mistake. It is protection. Yet when protection becomes your only way of seeing, we have this protection to the finance, protection to the love, protection to the safety of the future, protection to the love of the future, relationship of the future. Life is no longer being met directly. Got it? Take a deep breath in and stretch the neck to the right side. Back to the center, onto the other side. Back into the center. Take a moment now. Now, keep the whole mechanism moving like the planetary system, but yet not attached to the field of it, but observing. Otherwise, it is being translated to expectations. Are persons whose neuropaths are not relaxed. And it is on the space of the spectrum of protection. And it is the only way someone's seeing life. Life is no longer being embraced in the space. It is being translated to expectations. Can you notice that translation without trying to stop it? You don't have to be spiritual and stop it because you love interfering. You want to stop things that no longer, so even this cannot be stopped. Can the prediction itself become part of your observation instead of your verbal prediction about the world, about the systems, about the health, about the wealth? So you are noticing the translation without trying to stop it. Can the prediction today can becomes the observation? There is no need to fight the body. There is no need to improve the observer. There is only invitation to see. As you remain here, let every sensation arrive without immediately asking what it means. Can you be in this space? Allow the breath to happen. Allow the movement to happen. Allow the sound to happen. But I'm not asking you to stop the prediction. I'm asking you to observe the prediction before your vocalization. There is no need to fight the body, the agitation. There is no need to improve the observer even furthermore. Because this is not a game that you can conquer. There is only an invitation to see it. As you remain here, let every sensation arrive without immediately asking asking the meaning of this. Let every thought come and go without building a home around it, because this is impossible. See whether there is something quietly constant beneath every changing experience. Not a belief, not idea, not identity. Simply the silent fact that awareness has been present before every story you have ever told yourself. Every story that you're running away, every story that you're strengthening more, every story that you're pushing away. Perhaps this is where a different kind of intelligence begins. Not through control, not through separation, but through clear seeing. Remain here for one more breath, then another. Allow life to reveal itself before thought rushes to explain it. Take a deep breath in, very gently coming back into the space. Left leg stretched back, right hip open. Shoulders relaxed and chest open. Allow the room to become quiet without trying to make yourself quiet. Notice that life is already happening before any instructions is followed. Breathing, moving, sound arriving. Weight of the body is being received by the ground. Take a deep breath in, shoulders roll back, opening up that chest of the heart space. Drop the elbows, fold those palms and drop them. Clench and unclench. Weight of the wrist is received by the ground. Sensation is appearing through the mat. Touch. Before the mind decides whether it is pleasant, whether it's unpleasant, whether this teaching is useful or unwanted. So stay close to this simple fact that experience begins before the person who says, I am experiencing this. Take a deep breath in and very gently coming into a plank. Strong on the pelvic floor. Drop the knees and stretch the spine and allow the body to rest. Shoulders relax and chest open. Take a moment here. Very gently crawling and bringing the chest into the front. Drop and soften the belly. Coming into a gentle cobra. Our shoulders relax, chest open. Now stay close to the simple fact that the experience begins before a person who comes and say to you, the mind talking, I'm experiencing this. Do not search for special state. Do not search itself is part of what we are observing. Notice the impulse to improve the moment. Notice the almost invisible movement that says, I should be calmer, I should be protective, I should be deeper, I should be further. Let that movement be seen without a judgment. It may have been living your life for many years, so you can't get a tenant that has been living like this for a long time evicted. So this is not an eviction. It may have entered through family. It may have entered through your education. It may have entered through your past lifestyles and culture. It may have entered to you out of survival. It may have entered to you out of comparison. It may even have entered to you in space of praise. It may have entered you out of success. It may have entered you out of rejection. It may have entered you out of fear. Yet right now, it can be felt simply as a moment in the body and the mind without your interpretation. Relax the third eye onto the floor. Before calling it ambition, before calling it insecurity, before calling it healing, before calling it resistance. Now roll the third eye side to side. Great. Now palms where the elbows are, breathing in into an up phase. Remain with the class in its raw texture. Breathe out towards the down phase. Now bend one knee at a time, release the tension. Left leg up into the back. Left knee to the left chest, breathe out. Stretch back, left knee to the left elbow, stretch back. Left knee onto the right elbow, stretch back. Left foot into the back, high up. Left foot into the front, into the pigeon pose. Don't go on the repetitive part. We normally come to the Virabhadrasana from here. Shoulders roll back, opening up the chest. Elevate the space up, the heart, the neck, the chin. Forehead as space. Where does this begin? Drop the elbows, walk those palms very gently. Is there a tightening around the eyes? Is there tightening around the throat, the chest, the belly? Does the breath alter before a thought? Explain why? Because you could see when some of us, when we cannot explain ourselves, our volume goes up. Our breath lifts up with it. Let the body reveal the sequencing. Nothing needs to be corrected. Nothing needs to be pushed away. We are not here to win against conditioning. We are here to see how it becomes me. Take a deep breath in and very gently coming back. Now listen inwardly for the next thought. Do not create one. Do not prevent one. Simply notice its arrival. Did you choose its was first? Did you know its shape before it appeared? The thought comes, and almost immediately ownership follows. My thought, my memory, my decision. Stay in the small space before ownership completes itself and writing a deed and a title of the ownership. This is not blankness. It is living intelligence before description. Coming to a plaque. Stop and stretch the spine completely. Feel the body breathing now. Let the inhalation arrive without being pulled. Let the exhalation leave without being managed. There is no need to tell the body how to be alive. Since how much of life is already moving without the controller? Heart does not ask identity for permission. Hearing does not wait for belief. Nervous system reads the room before the conscious mind forms an opinion. Life is immediately, explanation is delayed. Right leg up, right knee to the right chest, breathe out. Stretch back, right knee to the right elbow, stretch back. Right knee to the left elbow, stretch back. Back to the down face. Now very gently bring the palms, bend the knees, walk those palms towards the feet. Holding on to the opposite elbows, keeping the knees bent. Moving and release the tension of the neck very gently. Front, back, side, side, roll to release. Now wake up the spine one vertebra at a time. Release the shoulders totally. Notice whether the body is predicting anything now. Arms rest onto the crown and lifting up onto the toes, engaging the pelvic floor. Breath out and relax back to the roots of the feet. Palms onto the Namaskar position. Let the inhalation arrive without being pulled. Let the exhalation leave without being managed. There is no need to tell your body how to be alive. Sense how much of life is already moving without this controller. Notice whether the body is predicting anything now. Perhaps it is waiting for the next instructions from me to you. Perhaps it is measuring whether this posture is safe or not. Perhaps it's preparing to understand. Let even that preparation be included. Say nothing inwardly for a few moments. Allow the unknown to remain unknown. Feel what happens when the mind is not given another conclusion to hold, fight or win, or right or wrong, or complete. Now bend the knees and sit deeper. Or if restlessness appears in this posture, just support the buttocks with a bolster. Do not call it a problem. Feel its moment. If heaviness appears, do not make it personal. Let heaviness be weight. Let the heaviness be pressure. Let the heaviness be the temperature. Let the heaviness be in the vibration. If emotion arises, allow it to exist before memory gives it a name. What is here before the story joins it? What has already happened before the sentence, this is happening to me, is formed. I'm not asking you not being to detach from life. You're being invited to meet life before habit translates it. Bum onto the floor. Twist the spine to the right side. Back into the center. Onto the other side. Back into the center. Now let the face soften, not as a technique, but as a permission to stop performing. Let the tongue rest. Let the shoulders be relaxed by gravity. Have you ever felt your hands without asking them to do anything? Because some people are still doing those things in their dreams, resting. Let the body may discover a different order. May discover a different order when it's no longer being constantly supervised. Have you ever worked for a boss and you're not being micromanaged? You're not being asked to detach from life. Remain here. Nothing to achieve, nothing to prove, nothing to become. Notice how the demand to become may still arise way after I have concluded. I'm asking you to see it gently. It too is an event appearing in awareness. It is not the whole of you. It may not even be person. It may be the continuation of a world that taught human beings to experience themselves as unfinished. Now allow the inquiry to move more deeply. What is already living this life before belief says, I am choosing? A facial expression appears and the body reads it. A tone of voice changes and the chest contracts. A memory is touched and future is predicted. When thought arrives and creates a reason. Do not condemn this moment. See its speed. See its intelligence. See also how quickly intelligence becomes identity when it is not observed. Now gently lie down, or you can be seated. Bring to the mind no particular story. Let the body itself show you what it carries. There may be a place today for some of you that braces before contract, a place that withdraws before disappointment, a place that prepares to defend before danger is even present. I want you to meet that place without the language of fixing. It is not broken. It may be an old protection still performing its duty. Out of duty, let it feel the presence of observation without being forced to change. If you have located it, breathe near that place, but do not use the breath as a weapon. Let breathing becomes a companionship. Let sensation be met without interrogation. The body does not always need another explanation. Have you ever thought about sometimes it needs the absence of pressure from you? Sometimes it needs to discover that this moment is not the moment it remembers. Now, notice the difference between what is happening, what is being predicted. If you're sitting, feel that space, the flow, the air touching the skin. Hear the nearest sound and then the furthest sound. Let the eyes rest behind the closed lids, or soften their gaze. This is the actual moment. Now notice any future the body is preparing for. Is that future is here, or is it being rehearsed? No need to answer with words. Let the body nervous system receives the evidence of now. Remain with me for one more complete exhalation. At the end of it, try not to hurry to the next breath. Let the body breathe when it's ready. In that small interval, sense whether awareness has disappeared. The breath changes. Sensation changes. Thoughts changes. But awareness does not need to hold any fixed shape. What would remain if for a moment the project of self-improvement were put down just for a moment, not abandoned forever, simply placed beside you? No better self to reach, no damaged self to repair, no spiritual identity to maintain. Feel what is left when becoming pauses, pausing, pauses. There may be a relief. There may be a fear. There may be nothing dramatic at all. Let the truth of the moment be enough. Now take a moment. Modern life teaches us to turn every inner moment into a task. Our sadness has become a task. Our rest has become a task. Our healing has become a task. Even silence becomes something to perform correctly. Here, let that silence have no purpose. Let it be unproductive because you are trained to be productive. Let it reveal the strain of constantly managing an image of yourself. Now, for a moment, notice the image that wants to be seen as wise. Notice the image that wants to be seen healed. Notice the image that wants to be seen, capable. Notice that image that wants to be needed. Notice the image that wants to see loving. Notice the image that wants to be seen as strong or maybe independent. Do not attack the image, don't become personal. See the vulnerability beneath its effort. It may be asking for safety. It may be asking not to disappear. Allow that asking to be felt without immediately answering it through performance. Arms raised onto the crown, arms onto the namaskar position. Sense the space around the body. Feel that experience is not confined to the story inside the head. Sound, breath, pressure, warmth, distance, silence are all arriving together. The mind divides them and then calls the division my world. For a few moments, let the experience remain on your watch, undivided. Relax the arms, arms raised onto the crown, palms onto the namaskar position. Ask quietly without searching for a verbal response. What is aware of all these movements that he's asking us to do? Does that awareness need movement or improvement? Does that awareness have an age? Does that awareness has this history, success or failure? Do not turn awareness into another idea. Simply remain with the fact of knowing. Arms raised onto the crown, palms onto the namaskar position. On the third breath, I am coming with you towards completion. Do not gather conclusions. Let the body keep what is useful without making a belief from it. Feel the ground again. Hear the room. Notice the breath. Let the eyes open when they are ready. Carry on one question into the ordinary life before I call this a reaction, me. What has already moved? I want you to walk with that question. Listen with it. Speak from the pause it creates. Let your practice become the laboratory. Freedom may not begin when the self is finally perfected. It may begin when the machinery of becoming is seen clearly, without the violence, and no longer has to remain hidden. So the question into the ordinary life, before I call this reaction me, what has already moved. Namaste.